Imagine this. One tiny tweak at bedtime could transform your baby from a restless night owl into a peaceful sleeper. Faster, longer, and with fewer wake-ups, backed by science, not guesswork. I'm not talking about letting them cry it out or some exhausting gimmick. This is a game changer so simple, you'll kick yourself for not trying it sooner. Stick with me, because by the end of this, you'll have a clear, proven plan to reclaim those precious hours of rest for both of you. Now, let's dig a little deeper. What if I told you this isn't just about sleep? It's about creating a bond, a signal, a little code between you and your baby that whispers, "It's time to rest, sweetheart." Picture those nights when nothing works, when you're pacing the floor at 2 a.m. with a fussy bundle in your arms. What if the secret lies in a few consistent minutes before bed? I've seen it work wonders, not just in studies, but in real homes, with real, tired parents just like you. How early could you start this magic? And what exactly does it look like when your baby's just a newborn versus a wriggly 6-month-old? Let's unpack that, because the answers might surprise you and shift everything. Here's the foundation you need to understand. Sleep isn't just a biological need for babies, it's a learned rhythm, and science shows we can shape it with intention. A massive global study with over 10,000 kids revealed a stark difference. Babies whose parents followed one specific habit went to bed earlier, fell asleep quicker, woke less often, and clocked more total sleep compared to those who didn't. A second study drilled down on timing. After implementing this change, parents saw results in as little as 3 nights. What's the habit? A pre-sleep routine. A deliberate, repeatable set of actions that cues your baby's brain and body to wind down. Think of it as a nightly ritual, like how we adults brush our teeth or read a chapter to ease into rest. For babies, this consistency isn't just calming. It builds a sense of safety. When they feel secure, they relax. When they relax, sleep comes easier. That's the logic chain, plain and simple. But let's get specific. Start this routine as early as the day you bring your baby home from the hospital. Yes, that soon. If you've missed that window, no sweat. Start today. The earlier the better, because babies link those actions to sleep faster with repetition. For newborns in those first 6 weeks, keep it ultra short, 1 or 2 minutes. Swaddle them gently while humming a soft tune, maybe something familiar from your own childhood. Then lay them down in their crib or settle them in your arms. By 7 weeks, it's time to add structure. Create 2 routines, one for bedtime, 10 to 30 minutes, and a shorter one for naps, 5 to 15 minutes. Bedtime could start with a diaper change, then a soothing feed, slipping them into cozy pajamas, and dimming the lights as you step into their room. Add a calming touch, maybe a gentle massage on their tiny back, or a quiet story in a low voice, ending with a lullaby as you rock them before placing them in their crib. Naps, condense it. Diaper change, sleeping bag, blinds down, a quick song, and into the crib. Timing matters too. For babies over 4 months, aim for a bedtime between 7 and 8 p.m. Though adjust to what fits your family. Some thrive on 6 p.m., others closer to 9 p.m. The goal is 10 to 12 hours of night sleep, reliably in the same 30-minute window. Under 6 months, naps are trickier since schedules aren't set. Watch for tired cues, rubbing eyes, yawning, fussing, and pair that with age-appropriate wake windows, usually 5 to 2 hours for a 3-month-old. Miss the window and an overtired baby might fight sleep or need extra soothing. Hit it right and they drift off smoother. This isn't theory. I've watched parents struggle through trial and error until they nailed this rhythm. One couple I knew had a 3-month-old who wouldn't settle before 11 p.m. After building a 20-minute bedtime routine, feed, swaddle, a soft hum, they shifted bedtime to 8:30 p.m. Within a week, the baby started sleeping 11 hours straight. By month 4, another parent, juggling a toddler and a newborn, swore by a 5-minute nap routine to keep chaos at bay. Same steps every time, no exceptions. Even if it meant singing off-key in a whisper, consistency turned their days from frantic to predictable. The data backs this up. Routines don't just help sleep. They reduce stress for everyone. Studies show babies with set pre-sleep patterns have lower cortisol levels. Less stress hormone means a calmer kid. And for parents, less guessing, more confidence. You're not reinventing the wheel every night. You've got a playbook. But it's not just about the how. It's about adapting to your unique baby and your real life, whether that's a late work schedule or a house full of siblings. A beauty is in the simplicity and flexibility, as long as you stick to the core. Same steps, same order, every time. Let's push this further with a twist you might not expect. What happens when you're not the one putting your baby down? Maybe it's a grandparent, a babysitter, or a daycare provider. Here's where a pre-sleep routine isn't just a sleep tool. It's a lifeline for transitions. A well-crafted routine, kept short and repeatable, ensures anyone can step in without disrupting your baby's sense of security. I've seen this play out with a family whose little one started childcare at 5 months. The parents shared a bullet point list of their 15-minute bedtime steps: diaper, pajamas, a quick story, blinds down, white noise on, and a specific lullaby. The center followed it to a T. That baby adjusted in days, not weeks, napping there like it was home. Without that predictability, transitions can be a nightmare. Babies sense the shift and resist, leading to meltdowns or skipped sleeps. But here's the kicker. The routine has to be dead simple. If it's a 45-minute saga with props only you can handle, it falls apart the second someone else takes over. So, strip it to essentials. Pick activities that don't need a PhD to replicate: a feed, a song, a cuddle. Test it yourself. Could your partner do it without a tutorial? If not, tweak it. And don't underestimate the power of ending in the bedroom. That final step, whether it's dimming lights or closing the door as you hum, cements the message. This is where sleep happens. I've heard from parents who skipped this, doing the routine on the couch or in the kitchen, only to find their baby wired instead of winding down. Location is a cue as strong as any lullaby. Think about your own life. Don't you feel more ready for bed when you're in your bedroom, not sprawled on the living room floor? Babies are no different. Layer in sensory cues too. White noise mimics the womb's hum, blocking out household chaos. A sleeping bag or swaddle feels like a constant hug. These aren't extras, they're anchors. When a baby associates those sensations with rest, half the battle's won. I've watched a single mom turn things around with her 6-month-old, just by adding a consistent white noise machine to a shaky routine. Night wake-ups dropped from 5 to 1 in 2 weeks. She swore it was like flipping a switch. So, ask yourself, what anchors can you build into your baby's world? What tiny, repeatable signals can you send to say, it's safe to let go? Now, let's hit the peak of why this matters and how deep it goes. A pre-sleep routine isn't a quick fix. It's a foundation that rewires sleep patterns for months, even years. Let's break down the mechanics with brutal clarity. First, the brain science. Babies' circadian rhythms, their internal sleep clocks, aren't fully formed at birth. They develop over the first few months, influenced heavily by external cues. A consistent routine acts like a metronome, setting that clock with precision. Miss it, and you're fighting biology. Random bedtimes confuse their system, spiking wake-ups, and short sleeps. Studies hammer this home. Infants with regular pre-sleep patterns show more consolidated sleep by 6 months, meaning longer stretches without interruption. One parent I guided had a 4-month-old waking every 90 minutes. We mapped a 25-minute bedtime routine: bath, feed, pajamas, a 2-minute rock with a hummed tune, always in the nursery. By day 5, wake-ups dropped to 2. By week 3, the baby slept 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. with 1 brief feed. The key? Never deviating, even on rough nights. That repetition carves neural pathways. Baby learns, after this song, I sleep. Second, emotional security. Routines aren't just mechanical. They're a trust signal. Babies thrive on predictability amid a world they can't control. When the same steps unfold nightly, anxiety dips. I recall a family with a 7-month-old who'd scream at bedtime, terrified of separation. We built a 20-minute routine, ending with the mom sitting by the crib for an extra minute, humming softly. That tiny anchor, her voice, her presence, cut the crying in half within a week. By month's end, the baby settled with just the hum. It wasn't magic. It was trust, built brick by brick. Third, the ripple effect. Better sleep for baby means better sleep for you. Chronic exhaustion tanks parental patience, spikes stress, even strains relationships. Data's clear. Parents of poor sleepers report higher rates of anxiety and marital tension. Flip that with a routine, and you're not just helping your baby, you're saving your sanity. I've seen a dad, stretched thin by work and a colicky newborn, turn skeptical about some fancy routine. But after 2 weeks of a basic 15-minute plan, diaper, swaddle, a quiet story, he was getting 6 uninterrupted hours. He admitted, half laughing, it felt like he'd gotten his life back. Let's talk practical depth for your routine. Bedtime for a 3-month-old might mean starting at 9 p.m. if they're not ready earlier. Don't force it, or you'll battle a wired baby. By 4 months, watch for their natural shift earlier, often 7 to 8 p.m. If your schedule's off, say you're home at 8:30, adjust, but keep the 10 to 12-hour night goal. Nap routines for under 6 months hinge on spotting tiredness, glassy eyes, a sudden quiet, a head rub. Start then, not on a rigid clock, or you'll miss the sweet spot. Over 6 months, naps often settle into patterns, maybe 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. So sync the routine there. Activities, mixed necessities, feeding, changing, with soothers, a back rub, a board book. Order matters. Hype activities like a splashy bath go first. Quiet ones, like singing, last. End in their sleep space, always. One family I knew botched this early, ending on the living room rocker. Baby associated sleep with being held, not the crib. Cue months of struggle. They reset, moving the final lullaby to the nursery. 2 rough weeks later, baby self-settled. Details like this aren't fluff. They're the difference between success and endless frustration. So, map your routine now. Write it down. Test it for a week. Tweak what flops, but don't ditch the core. You're not just solving tonight. You're building a sleep legacy. All right, let's lighten the load with a moment that'll stick with you. Picture this. It's been a long day. You're bone tired, and your little one's finally in your arms for bedtime. You've done the diaper change, the cozy pajamas, the dimmed lights. Now, as you rock them gently, you start humming an old tune. Maybe something your own mom sang to you, or just a silly, made-up melody that's become your thing. Their tiny eyelids flutter, fighting sleep. but that familiar sound weaves its spell. Suddenly, they let out this soft, contented sigh, barely a whisper, but it hits you like a tidal wave. That sigh, it's trust. It's them saying, "I'm safe with you." I've lived this moment over and over with so many families, and it never loses its punch. One night stands out. A parent, frazzled from weeks of no sleep, followed a bare-bones routine we crafted together. On night 3, as they sang a shaky, off-key lullaby, something they'd hummed since their baby was 4 days old, that little one nestled closer, let out that sigh, and drifted off without a peep. The parent looked up, eyes shiny, and whispered, "I didn't know it could be this easy." It's not always easy, of course. Some nights are still a grind, but those small victories, those quiet sighs, stack up. They remind you why you keep going. Think about your own baby's quirks. Maybe they grip your finger during that last song, or their breathing slows in a funny little rhythm. Those are your anchors, your proof this works. Building a routine isn't just about sleep. It's about carving out these tiny, heart-melting rituals that you'll both carry forever. Imagine years from now, humming that same tune on a tough day, and feeling that same sigh echo in your memory. It's not just a bedtime trick. It's a thread of love woven into every night. So, tonight, when you're in that quiet moment, notice it, savor it. Let it fuel you for the next step, because those little sounds, those fleeting pauses, are the real reward. They're the reason you'll hum that tune one more time, even when your voice cracks, even when you're beyond exhausted. That's the heart of this journey, finding peace in the smallest of wins. So here's the bottom line. A pre-sleep routine is your ticket to better nights for your baby and you. Earlier bedtimes, faster sleep, fewer wake-ups, all backed by hard science and real results. Start now. Keep it simple, make it consistent, and watch the transformation unfold, even if it's messy at first. Sleep challenges don't end here. Regressions, fussiness, and more will test you. But this foundation is your starting point, a proven tool to build on. If you want more stories, tips, and tricks to help your little one and you rest easier, stick around. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Your support keeps me sharing more content like this. And hey, videos like these can vanish, so don't wait. Drop a comment too. What's one bedtime ritual you've tried or want to try with your baby? I'm dying to hear your ideas.